everyone, thank you for being here. We have an entire collection of MILANI Luminoso. Yes, it started with the smash hit Baked Blush. They put out the Keep It Full Lip Plumper in Luminoso, and now they're expanding to an eyeshadow palette and false lashes, and even, oops, I pulled out the wrong thing, and even a Cheek Kiss liquid blush highlight. So when this arrived, like, I saw this coming because I noticed on, I think it was Trend Mood or somewhere online, this was being teased that this was coming out. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna like receive it from MILANI, but I knew darn well I was gonna hunt it down in the stores. I was gonna be on the lookout for this stuff. And it arrived over the weekend, and I just thought, this is jumping my to-do list for videos. I'm really excited about this stuff. I guess what impresses me about this, even whether Luminoso is your most favorite drugstore blush or not, it's not even probably the top of my list. It's a good blush, it's beautiful, but I like to see something still existing in a line and a brand making a big deal about it still, okay? Rather than just having something float through, become hot, and then just be on the way out from there. I love the thought that they are recognizing an iconic product here and they're just letting it shine with some related products. And then I thought, well, you know, sometimes folks say, I don't want the partial face of stuff, just go ahead and do a full face for us. So I'm gonna do a full face and keep it MILANI. My nails are still purple. I have a couple of chips. This is not gel polish. This was just like a random nail polish that I had that matched my shirt because the girls had a cheerleading competition and their colors are purple and black. And they slayed, and they both got gold medals, and I'm so proud of them. Their first time getting out there in a packed gym, and just the smiles on their faces, I was so impressed. They did great with their routines. Their coaches are phenomenal. It was just a wonderful day. But I have to tell you first about the drama of getting ready. Biddy had a nosebleed. Okay, she does get nosebleeds, somewhat hereditary. Like, my sister got nosebleeds when she was little, and Bub to this day gets an occasional nosebleed. She hadn't had one for months. And guys, we're sitting there, and I've got two girls, like, we're in a little classroom where we're able to get ready. It's at a high school is where this competition is. So I got both my girls sitting here in these little desks, and I'm doing their makeup. By the way, I'm finding it a lot faster to complete 2 faces of makeup by doing the steps simultaneously. So, like, doing Belle's foundation, doing Biddy's foundation, doing the concealer, blend it, do the concealer here, blend it, rather than doing a full face and a full face. And also not being in a setting where your stuff really can be nicely laid out. You just have your item out that you're using and the brush that goes with it, and I just bounce back and forth. So that was going well. I have a palette, a little eye palette sitting practically under Biddy's nose. The mirror's right there. She's looking down, I'm doing her stuff. And what do I see? I see a drop of blood fall on the mirror. She's getting a dang nosebleed. Now, there are some silver linings here. Number one, the timing of this. This happened when we were in the dressing room, not out on the mat. Also, probably not 10 minutes before then, April, one of the people in charge, reminded us to put something over their uniforms, you know, so you don't get makeup on them. And I was like, okay, great, I got these little purple zip-up things, I get that on. There was blood directly on that. It would have been on the uniform. But anyway, this nosebleed is starting, and I'm like, trying to keep my hand on her nose because Biddy can keep something there, but I want it kept like really uptight because I've done makeup all over here and I'm trying to mess with it as little as possible. I'm trying to hold that on her nose, fish through my bag for wipes, and I'm calling out like, does anybody have a Kleenex? Nobody's got a Kleenex. Somebody hands me a wipe that they already had out, and I'm like holding that up on her nose, a wet makeup wipe all over her face. And I call Bub, I'm like, Bub, can you please find me Kleenex? He's roaming the halls with Bubba, you know, this room is packed. So he gets him in there and we think it's done. And I say, okay, go ahead and go. I've still got 2 faces of makeup to finish and 2 hairdos to do. And I've already gotten the, we've got 30 minutes left heads up. I was shaking a little bit at this time. We think it's dying down. I say, Bub, go back to what you were doing. I think we're good. It keeps going, and I have to call him back. And so he can just hold it for her and be there for her. So because she's starting to freak out a little bit that this is going on still, and she knows she needs to be nearly done getting ready. So I can at least finish Nookie, Belle. I can get her done. And fortunately, by the grace of God, this did totally end. It tapered off. It stopped for good. And I got her ready in time to stretch with everybody else. But that was the drama of the morning. And then just sitting there thinking, I hope it doesn't start up again when she's on the mat. And I'm sitting out there and a mom behind me was talking about how her child had a nosebleed before all this. I'm like, mine too. What a day to have that. Their first cheerleading competition. My first time being tasked with getting them all ready. Biscuits is back here like, yeah, she hasn't shut up about it since. But for her to get out there, not be the least bit self-conscious or nervous about that happening again, and just put a smile on her face and did that routine, I was like, yes. And I was also glad that she was one of the earlier ones to perform, so we could like get it under our belt. She could come sit with me and get that thing zipped up over her uniform again. We were good. Gosh, I'm sorry, that was a very long story. I'm sure nobody came for it, but it was like a triumphant moment in my life. Not just that the day went how it did, but that we got through the nosebleed situation. Okay, I'm gonna use Milani Conceal and Perfect. Wait, I'm gonna prime with something because I got that stuff. I got the Milani Soft Focus Glow in the shade Golden Glow. Okay, we're moving on to makeup mode. Don't you love when the pumps spit out something nearly solidified first? Thank you. It was seriously a great day though. They both got gold medals. All the teams did great. It was fun for me to watch. Like, I just like being there. They brought in a college team that was doing some stunts. They had fun competitions toward the end, of course, after Bubba had long gone past his nap time. Of course, never napped. We knew he wasn't going to get a nap that day, but he also had to be woken up super early. He was really over it by the end. But it was a good time, all in all. This is the shade Creamy Natural in the Conceal and Perfect. I did a full face of Milani not all that long ago, and I remember discussing the fact that this is not really my favorite drugstore foundation. They call it foundation and concealer in one, and I just don't think it's full coverage enough to make that claim. Verging on full coverage is close. By the way, my stamp, I've showered. My stamp is still on there. But like, it's a strong medium coverage, and it does have some decent staying power, but it's not the most beautiful looking thing on the skin, I don't think. It does benefit from a glowy primer underneath, so that's good. But this one can look a little heavy, especially if you apply it with a brush. If I'm in Walmart and I'm looking for a long-wear drugstore foundation, well, one thing I've really realized is that the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Hyaluronic Tinted Serum, I don't know if Lumi's even in the name, the one that had the dropper on it. I happen to know that one wears wonderfully on me, but also like Maybelline Superstay. Really good choice for me. Or the Red Cap from CoverGirl. Those are all ones I would probably put above this, but we're gonna make it work today. We're gonna make it look good, create a good base for these new Luminoso products. Sorry if all you came for was Luminoso content and you got a story about a cheer competition nosebleed. I'm gonna use my Conceal and Perfect concealer. I have this here in the shade Ivory Rose. I've pretty much pegged this one as decent coverage, but not quite as much as e.l.f. Camo Concealer. So, you know, it's not a bad option. I'm just kind of hitting all my general concealer zones. I feel like I've got a zit about to blow under the corner of my nose there, so yay. I am washing a bunch of my brushes, so I'm going to use my backup to my e.l.f. Duo brush, the original, the It Cosmetics brush here. And I like to spread my concealer with a small end so those concentrated dots can go a little further for me. See, this is a pretty brightening concealer shade on me, is it not? Another funny thing is how the girls, you know, purple's in their colors and they have them wear full-on purple lipstick. Like liquid lipstick. It's from NYX. It's one of the XXL lingerie kinds, but you don't really see it in the store too often. You can find it on NYX's website though, but it's a complete purple. And it's fun, you know, really, because they're kids and who cares? But it's just like that's a shade I've never used on myself before. I'm just glad they had such a fun day. They're each on different teams. Biddy's on a tiny team and Nook is on a mini team. And one of my favorite parts was just watching them end their routines and then they all raced over to hug their coach. That was the best. Okay, so I've got this on. I feel definitely brightened up. I do have another thing I could add a little bit of, the Conceal and Perfect Under Eye Brightener. This is okay for me. I don't love it as much as I love the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Brightener. By the way, we still have a kitten back there. But I'm gonna like see what happens if I just add a little bit of this on top. The thing I really love that they released in this format was the contour. Yeah, not super necessary, but it's fun. So I'm not seeing a Milani brand setting powder in my collection, so I'm going to pull for another drugstore friend here to help out, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent. By the way I did their makeup, because You know, this dark eyeshadow, their look involved black and purple eyeshadows. We were given a palette that had all the colors in it. But I really do like doing the face makeup first. I feel like it turns out better for me that way. So I just heavily baked their under eye with loose powder. Skipped to the eye after doing foundation and concealer. So the sequence was like foundation, concealer. I powdered a lot here, and I think some of the moms were maybe looking at me like, what the heck is this big bunch of powder she's got going on under the eyes? But I had that there, so when the fallout came down, which it was minimal, but there was a little bit, I could dust it all away and we had a clean under eye. That's old school makeup artist stuff, right? And you know, to have the under eyes of a 8 or 6-year-old, like they can totally pull that off. Okay, so I'm just gonna dust away the excess here. The whole face is seeming pretty set. One thing about Conceal and Perfect, it does not stay tacky on your skin in the least. My bronzer slash contour is going to be this liquid contour, the Conceal and Perfect in the shade Ginger. Just kind of dabbing it around the key zones. I'm going to even go down here a little bit and pull in the Sephora 56. This blends so easily. That's why I love it. Thin, lightweight, pigmented enough. Oh, I was comparing this to the liquid bronzer, the Butter liquid bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is a little darker, okay? A little more pigmented. Packs a bit more of a punch. The other one's still fully usable for me, but may not fit as many skin tones as this one can. Ever since JLo's makeup routine where she talked about the light bulb right here and how she will always contour that area so no double chin action comes through, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna do that. So today is the 30th day of January as I shoot this, and it is Nana's birthday, my mom's birthday. They were at the competition. I got way more here than here, so I gotta add a little bit more. We're excited to celebrate with her. Got some cherry crisp and apple crisp this morning to enjoy when she gets here. Got her a few new tops as well. I hope she likes them. Got a kitten rolling around on the floor over there. She loves the carpet in here. Okay, so there we are, kind of contoured up with our little contour wand. Very good. I believe there are other shades in this too. And now let's talk about a new Luminoso product, this Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush Highlight in the shade 05 Luminoso. Same packaging design as that contour. I've heard people calling this a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, the blushes that are in this little puffy tip format. You know, there's one called Pinkgasm. I have that. This is nothing like Pinkgasm. It's much lighter. It's much more verging on being an actual pure highlight. See that? It's got a little depth in there when it's not catching the light, but it is not nearly as pink as Pinkgasm. I think, does she have a Peachgasm one too? I'm not positive. I'm gonna show this on my cheeks first so you can see how much color intensity or lack of color intensity it has, but it's more about the glow. And then we'll put Luminoso blush, we'll layer that on top so you can see. But I'll give a few dabs over here. Few dabs over here. See what we're working with, guys? Maybe a slight hint of a blush look, but primarily it's just glowy. And it's nice, it's not a chunky glow. It's a nice, easy, soft glow, you know, but it functions more as a highlight than a blush. So going forward, I would apply this as my highlighter step after the blush goes on. But I'm just trying to show you guys how the color it produces is very minimal. It's more about the glow. Really, the dupe that's out there for Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm, and oh, this packaging, if you have any extra moisture on that puffy tip, it gets all up in the cap and the little area where it twists in. I wish they made that a little bigger. But the dupe for Pinkgasm is a CoverGirl Clean Liquid Blush in the shade called Butterflies. That's as close as I've seen. Now for the star of the show, the Luminoso blush. When they sent this in the PR package, I didn't need to bust into what they sent because I already had this. So this blush is kind of like peachy, soft glow. Really pretty. It's become just ultra popular over the years. Look at that color. And the glow is like really soft and kind of filtered looking, you know? I'm into it. Favorite part of the face so far, what I put on there. Boom. Okay, I do not have a Milani eyebrow pencil, but I do have that new Stay Put liquid brow wax that we talked about in a previous video. So I'm just going to fill in with another drugstore pencil I can find. Here we got L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in the shade Dark Brunette. That'll be what we use. First I'm going to brush through this. Ooh, I could do some setting spray. Yeah, I have this Milani Make It Last with the sunscreen added, which I think is cool, SPF 30. She's not spraying out real well. There we go, there's the face. Smelling that setting spray that I used. Does it smell funny? So the Stay Put liquid brow wax, something I was talking about with this the first time I used it, like it does hold really well, and actually the texture of it, it seems to fill in the brows a little bit. In their little info packet on it, they do say, brush brows in an upward-outward motion, gently tap and press brows with fingertips to set and blend product, because it will leave those white bits. I added the end part about the white bits, but that's basically, I think that's what they're alluding to. Now Benefit has a product that's practically identical to this. It leaves a little less of the white stuff. But as I've said, it could also be the newness of this product, but you just kind of have to look out for that. It does hold really well. Like I said, it gives the look of a bit more thickness too, more than just a regular gel would. So I just kind of put it in and tap over them and boom. You know, another thing I like about Milani, they're still holding on to the eyeshadow primer. Like in this PR package, which also sent some of these, which was nice because when I bought these from Ulta's website, a couple of them, they arrived completely smashed, like not a remaining shade in the thing. Just smashed beyond recognition. And so they sent these. We can talk about those on another day because we do have that Luminoso eye palette, but they're still giving love to this, the Milani eyeshadow primer. So I think that's great. I like that they have some core products and they're not just abandoning everything because, well, maybe if we released something new and named it something different, put it in some wild packaging, we could get people to jump on it. You know, they just have some iconic stuff and they're letting it be iconic. We use that every day regardless. So here's our little Luminoso edition palette from Milani. And this is what it looks like. We do have a matte and shimmer mix. Let's get in focus. See how this one's not going too dark? It seems like, you know, we got this deep brown over here that's matte. And we have two mattes right up here. But other than that, it's shimmer. It doesn't look like chunky shimmer really to me. We do have one shade actually called Luminoso that does look a lot like the blush, maybe slightly more golden. But yeah, we're gonna do a look with this. I would probably reach for my Persona double-ended brush, but it's still in the bathroom right now. I washed it yesterday. Going to In the Clouds, this light color. This is very soft in the crease, and by the way, your brush wants to pick up a lot. It's just a soft eyeshadow in general. Okay, so just a little soft crease there. I go down here to Horizon. I feel like this palette is kind of loaded with midtones. And you know, they're probably capitalizing a little bit on the idea that eyeshadow just, it's somewhat of a trend right now to not go super duper hard with the eyeshadow. Yes. I like to play with my eyeshadow no matter what. This is looking kind of intense over here on this eye, isn't it? As I talk about going soft. No, I like to enjoy my eyeshadow no matter what. You know, some days it might turn out softer or heavier, but I don't just do it one way. This is a bare brush now. I'm blending over that. There's just a mega softness in these shadows, so you gotta watch out a little bit. I'm gonna take some of Halo right here, which is our other matte. So we're now 3 for 3 on mattes, and kind of go over the edge, kind of peachy. Okay. Okay, getting a little bit of Horizon, adding to my look. I really do like that shade, this one called Horizon, this deepest color. It is buildable. I don't think the Luminoso collection probably should have a ton of darkness in it, you know, but this is enough to give contrast. And then I can go to this Halo shade right up here, tapping off excess, and kind of hit the border. smooth it out a little more. And then for a little glow, I think we should take Beam, this lower corner shade, really smooth shimmer. And just let that hit the brow bone a little bit. It looks just a little golden up there on the brow bone. Next I'm going in with just a little more horizon, but with a flat brush. And I'd like to put that on my lid, outer part of my lid. I'm just using a small Morphe brush here, small flat brush. I do think my Persona double-ended brush would have done really well with these shades because it's just such a soft diffused brush. Like, it gives a really nice application. Trying to get my darkness level the same on each side. I think I got there. This collection, by the way, they say it's only at Walmart, so that's where you want to keep an eye out. Or probably Milani's website. Okay, camera cut me off at some point in there, but I feel like we've got a really nice, very softened up look right now. And we're just deciding what do we want to pop on the lid. Also, we should think about this shade here called Dusk. This isn't exactly super light. It's a beautiful taupe and it actually has a little bit more richness to it than you might expect. I want to see a little bit of Pink Moon going on here. Okay, that's pretty. Seems smooth. And we have a shade called Soul that's more golden. And then I want to see Luminoso coming in. We got to use the shade that it's all named after. Oh, pretty. I love how it's like a soft pearl. Lovely. It's not like a white pearl, but I mean it's pearl in terms of being a soft sheen, not like a real hard metallic, you know. Really nice look, actually. Can't complain about the textures of these shadows. They're very soft. I would just say have an awareness of how soft they are and don't go super hard into it with your brush. Like, I picked up Horizon at first way more than I needed to. Oh, we also have Sunset down here. Beautiful ruby color, which I didn't even touch for this look yet. Maybe we should add a little bit. Let's just have it peek in at the outside, just a little. I barely put any on my brush, but I'm just don't want it to feel left out. You could really make a look all about that shade. You could be putting it on the outer corner, you could be blending it up into the crease. That would look really good. I'm going to use a little bit of Dusk, that taupey shade, just right here on the lower lash line. Yeah, super pretty for soft definition there. Not too much, just a little bit right there. I would say the Luminoso eye palette was a hit for me. I love the pigmentation, I like the color scheme. They did send a liner as well, this Stay Put Infinite liquid liner, and just checking it out, I don't love this very hard tip that it has. I'm not really feeling that. It doesn't have the flexibility of the Milani 17-hour wear Stay Put matte that's packaged like this. I love these. Like, I'm gonna need some good liner as a base for these lashes, but I'm not super excited about this. I don't know if I've tried this before or not. Could be a brand new thing. It's very black. That applicator tip is long, but it is not flexible. I'm really working off of it sideways. Trying to keep this out of my lashes. I don't trust myself to do a wing with this, so that's not going to be happening. Just do what we have to do. Can't say I loved that experience. It's just hard. It's completely firm. Milani, please don't take away Stay Put Matte 17-hour wear. Please don't take that away. That's what lasted through having a baby. I mean, this might say infinite liner, but honestly it's kind of stressing me out because it's hard to put on and I'm not loving my line so much, and then you say it's going to be on there for infinity. I know it's not literal infinite, guys, but this just isn't my jam. My lines aren't perfect. I would have liked a wing today, but I just didn't think I could do it with this, so. Yeah. Another new thing that they sent that I already had is their highly rated Lash Extensions Tubing Mascara, which I have used this, played with this. You've seen it in a video already. I have worn this on my lower lashes because that's where I put Cali Ray. That's a tubing mascara. Used to use Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions on there. I think this is really trying to mentally take people to the place of Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions with the same color packaging and all. I have had a little smudging under the eye a time or two with this stuff. Was it the fault of another product? I don't think so, because I wasn't wearing anything else dark on my face, but could there have possibly been remnants of something else on there? I don't know. We're going to use it both top and bottom today, and I'll be keeping an eye on it once again. But the brush is nice, tapered toward the tip, very, very short, rubbery bristles. One coat actually looks really nice. It is lengthening. It's pretty good about the separation. I think if I kept raking and raking through when it's all wet like that, I mean, they start to stick together a little bit. This is a pretty like wet and creamy mascara for me. It still has time to, you know, age and get a little better, get used up a little bit, get slightly drier in the tube. But my lashes, you know, I don't have a lot of them, and they're gonna be more likely to thrive using an IT Cosmetics Superhero or L'Oreal Lash Paradise, something that's just not quite this wet. But I am getting it a little bit on the lower lashes, and then we're gonna pop on the false lash. These are the Luminoso vegan lashes. It says level up your Luminoso look, 100% vegan and cruelty-free, ultra lightweight, easy application. Okay, Peanut Gallery has returned. Taking them off of the packaging, the lash band is pretty thick, heavy duty feeling. I am going to want to trim a little bit off, I think. I'm going to let go of like one segment of the lashes that I can see on there, just because I can get a little bit more manageable application, and then work the band around like this, especially when it's a new lash, and try to bend it so it can be a little more flexible, because it comes off the packaging looking very stiff. You want to see some more curve to it. This is my Eyeshadow Companion Lash Glue, a little bit on the band. Oh, also, I didn't say I did it, but I picked off any excess glue that was attaching these lashes to the packaging. That's a huge tip if you are sensitive to false lashes, or you feel like, ooh, I get some irritation. Sometimes I swear it can be from the excess glue that puts these on the package. This wasn't loaded with it, but there was a little bit. So you just kind of go along the lash line and peel it off. I think these are going to look beautiful. And then, yes, we do have a MILANI Luminoso lip gloss to put the cherry on top of this look today. But I'm liking that soft eyeshadow look there, and there are more ways you can go with that palette than meets the eye. Like I said, we had a taupe direction, we had kind of a ruby direction in there. I kind of went for those medium browns and then the like peachy luminoso colors. Wait till your glue gets a little tacky. Set it on. Outside. Wow, these are dramatic. There we go. Long, fluffy. I do really like the way they're cut. You can see it more so on here. There's a thick layer that's shorter, and then wispy, longer lashes coming out from there. You have to decide like what lash you're comfortable with on the daily. For me, I could be fine with this in an everyday mode. I think ideally for me, this would be a really pretty special occasion lash. But everybody's got different comfort levels and different expectations, you know, different thoughts about what they would wear to work versus what they'd wear on a night out, blah, blah, blah. You decide. I'm, again, snipping off one segment to make them fit my eye a little better and not end up right down here in my tear duct. And then we bend and we work it around and we get that flexibility there. It seems that MILANI has turned out a very nice quality lash though. It's a super pretty style, and just the band, it's nice quality there. You just got to take the extra few seconds to move those thick bands around a little bit more, because they need it so much compared to just those invisible band, like, you know, your wispies and demi wispies type stuff. And you do end up with a little tray where you can keep them. Put that back in the box. Now, one thing I do here, we got it curved. Now, we kind of, just for the purposes of seeing where we're at and placing it on the lash line, I kind of gather some of them and straighten it out again a little bit. Align my fingers with the center of my eyeball. I'm going to add a little mascara on top, but because of the wetness of this, I'm going to use something a little drier. I'm going to take a little smidge of Superhero. And look what I'm doing. I'm not raking it all the way through my false lash. I'm just bopping it at the base where my lashes and the fake lashes are touching, okay? Since this mascara holds curl well, it'll keep everything kind of fused together. Now we can move on to the Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper in the shade Luminoso. Now they sent a new one. The packaging is just slightly different, but I already had one on hand, and it does appear to be the exact same shade as it's always been. It's like a pinky shade with a very, very fine golden shimmer, and I love the Keep It Full lip plumpers. It's kind of like the drugstore's take on Buxom. They smell a little bit minty. Color on this one is a little more opaque than you might expect, actually. I have noticed that with some of these. There's a nude one that's like, wow, that's really nude. They feel good. They don't hurt your lips. I think it would have been cool if they released some kind of lipstick with this line. But the gloss is pretty, and it keeps the softness with the look, you know? Not having anything too dark with the eyeshadow keeps some softness. See, sometimes those lashes, they gotta be trained to curve. A couple last little things I would do. Take some Kosas Cloud Set or whatever setting powder you really like. Get a little bit of that. Dab it in here. A little bit right up here. Maybe I want just a little more blush. Hey, if it makes you happy, do it. Luminoso is what it's all about, right? Get a little more glow as well. So pretty. Wow, overall I'm really happy with this collection. I feel super good about the look. Focusing in on the Milani Luminoso stuff, like I really enjoyed the eyeshadow palette. You are getting some smaller shades in there compared to other things, and I'm not sure what the price is going to end up being on this, but very nice pigmentation, very enjoyable. If you like a neutral, peachy golden warmth and doesn't go too terribly dark, that might be a good palette for you. Of course, we love Luminoso blush. Their little highlighter wand, just know it's more of a highlighter than a blush. I think it's nice. It's maybe not the most essential thing out of this collection. Like, my favorite things are probably these two. I love these lashes. The more I have them on, the more I see myself in them, the more I like them. And the gloss, I love that. I'd tell you if something didn't really impress me, but all of this Luminoso collection stuff is looking really good. I'm not as huge on this mascara. I said what I said about Conceal and Perfect Foundation. It's not my favorite option from the drugstore in terms of, you know, edging toward fuller coverage and long wear. Same with the concealer. I'd call them good, but not great, but they did create a really good base for this look, I would say. The other thing to know about in this video that I really love is actually the Liquid Contour Conceal and Perfect wand here. I love this. Packaging still leaves something to be desired, but I really like the actual formula and the way the product goes on. I had so much fun with this look. Thank you, frankly, if you made it through the cheerleading story. And I will see you guys again very soon. I love you. Bye.